like I really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, that when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Okay, we are live again. Welcome, hello. Well, this turns out to be the wrong background color. I tried. This is too yellow. The colors are here, but they are in the background. And so I learned a very important lesson. This is going to require a very simple, way simpler approach. Also smaller. This is not fully felted. I can tell this could use some more felting, and I'm going to continue. But not this minute, because I want to get the rope that it needs done. And then I can put them in one spot together to finish, because today is supposed to be a paint day. I am out of paintings, and I haven't sent anything to Gloria this week. And honestly, after all this time of sending her paintings every week, she's 99. I really don't want to disappoint her. So, rope. Let's lead it. The only way to get the rope the right size is to do a big S. I don't have enough room to do one straight line. So today I found the right merino wool fiber in the exact right color I need to finally fix that 100-year-old silk scarf. I ordered it. Let's just say I will not be enjoying my monthly lunch out. We're going to have to wait until next month. And I'll probably give up the meal out in return for more art supplies. I'm so glad I have the computer for the writing and I don't have to go and spend any more money on that. But in a way, this is every time I do something by hand that ends up with something I can use in my regular life, I think of Nomaris and purpose. I remember years ago when I first got more aware of different religions than the one I was raised with. I should say ones I was raised with. I had 4 parents and they all had their religious beliefs. All different. Yeah, my life has been interesting after all. I never denied that. It's actually been a big, interesting life. Right livelihood. What is right livelihood? Now, I've heard what some people think of their interpretation, but I came up with my own before anybody tried to explain it. To me, it was like, oh, right livelihood, that's obvious. That means when you are deciding what you want to do to earn your living, you should make sure that it's something good, that it's helpful to the world, cooperative, so to speak. And that was my kids' idea of right livelihood. Then I got older and I learned about advertising and all these bogus products that get shoved in our face in a very non-random order to maximize our attention to them. And I realized there's nothing right about these livelihoods. There's a few people getting really, really rich off the work of the majority who never see the kind of rewards the people at the top do. I mean, we reached a point, I remember when I was a kid, people used to talk about vacations. People went away on annual vacations, family vacations. Now you think of a family vacation, I go, holy shit, can I afford that? I don't know how a family can manage to do things like go to Disneyland anymore. Because when I stopped going to Disneyland, because I moved away from Anaheim, it was $100 a person a day. And that was without any special things attached to that. It didn't cover the lunch out, much less if you wanted a souvenir. Help you if you needed that. But I lived right down the street from Disney for a while, so I didn't need souvenirs. If I wanted a souvenir, I could just say, let's go get that. Or actually, I was a vendor for Disneyland, the artist department, and I procured artist materials for them, which was a joy because I also got tickets to visit Disneyland as gifts. So I got to go a lot. If I really wanted a souvenir, like it turned out that my husband at the time, he actually is related to a famous pirate. And strangely enough, the men in his family, like his father and himself, they really love the ocean. And his father made a career out of being a ship's captain for, like, well, he was a Navy diver, dove with Jacques Cousteau, helped bring up the last live mine or something, some weird famous rescue story. And he was totally into the ocean, so it's like, oh, I can believe that you're pirate stock. But I didn't think about it until we went to Disneyland, and in their Pirates of the Caribbean gift shop that you get ushered out through, they had postcards that showed the different pirate flags. And sure enough, there was the pirate flag of his family. It's like, now, I love that. That's a cool thing. And actually, we worked together. Not worked. He had the job as first mate on a ferry, the Block Island ferry, the old one from the war that's been retired since. And they used live entertainment during the summer. Well, that's what I was. I was a live entertainer. So he got me my first gig aboard that. Gave me my first tour of Block Island. We were not boyfriend, girlfriend at that time. We were just buds. In fact, we were buds for about 5 years before we got married. I ruined everything. I think I better add. You can always cut some off, but you can't put it back on at the end once it's done. I'm just laying down the form of it. We're going to have to lay out the wool on top of this. This just tells me where I'm going. Straight. Okay. My tea is so not hot today. I also left it on the counter for too long. Okay. This is way softer. I am so slow at this, but I take such pleasure in playing with this. And we're going to need more room. Okay, let's just spread you out. I started getting confused with all of the wool, breaking it up into different color groups. I realized I'm still learning, figuring things out. So I have to be more visual. I have to be able to see everything right there. It's like looking at a palette of paints. You open the lid and you see all the different colors. It's like, okay, now I know what I have to work with. Everything in the suitcases is kind of throwing me off a little bit. So I got more suitcases so I can break the colors up a little better. Like right now, the blues are with the purples, which has now just outgrown itself, and now blues and all the purples and violets have to be separated. And today I took all of my beiges because of looking at my mistake. I took everything out of the light colors, so all the yellows and light colors are going to be in their own valise. We'll get it organized today. I have been very busy taking care of all kinds of stuff today. It was a very productive morning. I even finally put a corned beef up to cook. Now it's been so many years since I made a corned beef. I almost forgot how to do it. I remembered some of the basics, but I forgot things about it. So I made a mess in my sink first thing in unpacking it. I started counting back. When was the last time you bought one of these? About 2008. I don't think I've cooked one since then. The last time I remember doing it was on the farm. We left the farm in 2009. So anyway, I have it cooking in a crock pot. In the old days, actually, I just used a big pot, my stock pot. So I would cook it and then pour all the fat and salt out and put fresh water in. I didn't do it this time. I just rinsed it well. Put it on to soak with some purified water. Threw more spices. I do like flavorful food. I have been actually surprised. I've met so many people around here since moving back to Connecticut who have the most bland flavor palettes I've ever known. I mean, like, Chinese food is too much for them. Forget Indian or Korean. Now, I don't know much about Korean other than their hot spice, so I love it. And kimchi, I recently discovered, thanks to Michael. I love that too. Stay over here for now. Looks like we could use more of that yellow. Idea. I want to mix it up anyway. let's fill that back in. I suppose I should have the phone there in case anybody does come in today. I said I would be here, but probably around 3 o'clock, so go by that, I'm early. Now I've got some of the burnt orange or pumpkin viscose, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit in here because this is all going to get rolled up. We're making a rope, maybe a little on the primitive side. I really want those fibers to show. This is so long. It's like we're rolling a burrito. Now this is going to be staticky enough. The viscose should just like suck to it. And then it's just a matter of rolling it up with it since it won't felt on its own. But there'll be plenty of wool to hold on to it. Okay, we'll be doing a little bit more on top of it too. And yeah, the multiple layers are definitely needed. Man, that is so long. It's okay that it's long, it's just that I'm kind of running out of room. I'll do some separating after I get it wet. Okay. Stuff is so magical. All right. I will have to dig out more of this. This is definitely not enough to go all the way around. All right. Back to the beige board. It's time to break into the big one. Big Bertha. Okay, Bertha. Beautiful. Look at that. And when you know what base colors you're going to use most of, it definitely pays to buy by the pound. Uh-oh, I think this is a finer merino. It feels silkier. Wow. Well, that makes me happy. Ooh. Come back here. We don't want you bunching up. This must be like gossamer wings. Yeah. Okay, we're going to have to wet it down and see how much more I need to add or where. We will do our spot checks. Over here for the now. Out of the way of the water. Got some fresh hot water. You saw me bring that on. Okay. Make sure this does not drip into my lap. Don't be coming through. Just stay where you are. You're going to end up lifting. This is not what you want to do normally with your bare hands. Just hoping everything is wet enough to stay. Okay, I'm really glad I made the darker orange in the middle because now I can see where we have to separate the fabric here. So fine, it was like immediately trying to knit, which is a good sign. Okay. Take our outside edge here, not you. You belong over there. Boy, talk about a fast knit. I felt. This is like, all right, I'm ready to go. I know the instructions. I memorized them. Give us some water and we'll run with it. Okay, you haven't really felted yet, but we don't want you felting completely until you're all rolled like that. Now, from experience, doing it this way, we'll end up with some cool looking texture on the way. No, you don't. I forgot. Don't go back and forth. Choose your direction and keep going in that direction. I think I'm rolling bread. There. Okay. Get some of that nice orange color showing. Okay, now we can soak up a little bit of this excess water. If there's too much water, it just floats around, it doesn't bond. So we don't want to get too crazy. You need it to start. Also likes getting slammed around a bit. If you like slams. Thank you, Robin Williams, for that line. A red metallic hair again. I'm so sorry I brought that in the house. But I wanted those little fun packs with little bits of this and that, because ultimately it was cheaper than buying any one of those things that I did want on its own. So, I mean, I made out, but that stuff is just, ugh. I don't know who uses it. I guess people use it for arties. artsy things. And probably some kid things, but I can't imagine having that metallic-y or mylar fiber scratching against my skin. I have a couple of really nice tops. Unfortunately, they have metallic thread in them, and I found them to be very uncomfortable to wear. Okay, it's definitely starting to felt. We can take a little bit more of this away. Dry. We have another dry towel. Here. Okay. And there's more red. Oh yeah, I think it came with another color. No, that was not in the same bag. Well, that got thin, huh? It'll poof up when it's washed and free of the soap. It's helping keep it tight. Thought you'd get away with it, eh? That's 3. Make sure I'm not carrying it in my hand. Now this rope is going to be a lot stronger than it looks. Especially with the bamboo through it. Now what I did with some other purses, I ran a synthetic fiber through it. Wrapped it around that. As soon as I knew that was very unlikely to break, no matter how hard you just pull. Also, it's a pocket on a string, you know, how hard are you going to be pulling on it? You're not going to carry that much weight in it. I mean, it's a fashion bag, it's not supposed to be like a grocery bag. this might be a little too thin to be comfortable. The other ones I made were wider. Nope. I'm gonna have to add to this if I want it to be comfy. All right. Let's think. Now, we do have plenty of this. I guess we're just going to have to do it. I know it's strong enough, but it's a skinny strap for a large pocket like that. Because here's the pocket. All right, you stay over here on that sponge while I lay out some fattening agent here. Excuse me. You need a do not disturb sign for your door. Poor Doc. He's getting stalked by his neighbor. Directly. Like a direct, I want to be in your face once a day, one way or another. Over you or your cat, I'll find an excuse. And that's bad because it's a neighbor. You don't ever want to get involved with a neighbor. Never get involved with your next door neighbor. Or across the hall, or even on a different floor. All right, different floor you might be able to get away with for a while. At least if you break up, which you will, you won't have to see each other every single day. Oh, all right, properly hot. I have not had to deal with a guy doing that in a very long time. And I assure you it was very annoying back then. There was a young man who was so infatuated with me in my younger years, you know. He wouldn't take no for an answer, and that's all he was getting. So he found a reason to try and stay relevant in my life, like every day. It would just be an appearance made. It's like, I am not in love with you. I don't think I'm ever going to be in love with you. You know, I don't know why you keep visiting with this and that and the other. He felt best if I was giving him something to do. He was like, he even looked like a puppy dog. That was when I discovered what puppy love is. It's like, oh, that's when somebody acts like a damn puppy. And they're ready and waiting for your every wish. Play with me, pet me, notice me, give me a treat. No, I'll give you a treat. Just be here. And you know, when you first fall and you're a teenager, that's pretty much just how it goes, I guess. You get just a little older and you need to not be so needy. And if a person says no, just let it go. It's no. Not everybody's your mother who you can badger to death before she says yes. Okay, we're gonna need to start wrapping it just because I don't have room. You stay there. Now, this should give us some bulk and texture. I don't want it to be boring. Don't worry, we'll finish felting you. Just relax a minute. Okay. Almost done referring it. Unexpectedly. Now we'll be way stronger. Well, in this case, way thicker. It's like having my own little sheep sitting here. Now, I've been playing a game called Township where you collect wool from sheep and other farm things. And I have to tell you, since getting involved with this, I doubly enjoy collecting the wool and thinking about, I know why they put a blanket on after they take the wool. And the poor little thing is cold after we take all its fur. But then we take the fur and then they take care of that and they give it to me. Well, they sell it to me. Give would be a big exaggeration. And that's where the money from my nails and my hair went. This let's not get too close to the edge of all this water because it'll end up in my lap today. Let's try not to let that happen. Well, that is not really a lot more wool, is it? which is the shoulder. Oh, where did you come from? Okay. Tweezers. Oh, that's just a piece of normal grass from a normal sheep. Okay. Some tea before we return to the rolling. 3 o'clock. All right, let's start from the end. We are going toward us. Too much. Not enough friction. My friend gave me a very textured dish towel. That might actually work. Let's find out. I think it might be. It's catching there. Okay. A lot of soap in there, a lot of air. It's got a ways to go. That is poofy. Let's get some of that water and air out. That's the thicker part. Good. That's what I wanted right there. Then it gets thin again. I'm not trying to make this all uniform. Definitely not. I kept the design really simple, so I want texture to speak a little bit louder. Okay. That's the kind of thing you can do while watching a movie. Just put it on and squish away. Anything you want to talk about? I can see why people who do a lot of this have started using more mechanical means to speed up the processes. I can only use things if they can be made naturally, if they have to be made like using molten metal like lead or steel to make molds and things like that. It's like, no. It has to be things that you can do with wood. You can carve something. Because everything I do has to be able to be done by the people on my planet. And they don't have, they're not industrialized. So felting is a way to make clothing, and you know, hats, slippers, coats, gloves, carpets, all kinds of stuff. Whatever use you have for fabric, there's a way to render it with fibers. Right. Right. This should be the more comfortable part right here. I wonder if we're expecting more rain. Okay. I feel it's not filtered enough there. So in a little while this will end up in the kitchen sink with some warm water to wash all the soap out of it and see how poofy it got. But now we will sit over there. My phone just reminded me to have water. That's handy. That getting some soap out. Okay. We're starting to see the pumpkin viscose. Well, it does go. This orange does not show up enough, perhaps. All right, well, we are going to set this aside. I'm going to get a smaller piece of bubble wrap. Which I happen to have right here. Oh. Well, let's even that up. That's annoying. All right. Well, this is already shrunk, so I can't use that. Nope, it's going to have to do something else. Think. Thinking of a different project now. Well, you know what? Let's deal with this right now. Before I lay out any more, we need to make some separations here. This is a brand new one. It's funny how small they look when they first arrive, and then start filling them in. Suddenly they're lots. Oh, this is bigger than I thought. Okay. The lavenders. The purples. The mauves. This is a hard one, because this is a magenta that goes between purple and pink. And ditto for these. This is a pink, but it's right on the border there. Well, let's see what I've got in the one below, because we've got more of the lavenders and the purples. Uh-oh. I got a little wool caught in this one. Which is good to know. It will jam your zipper. And it's purple. This is, I think, the #1 requested color when I ask my friends, what colors do you like? Purple. purples and blues, blues and greens. I like all the cool colors. And I've been finding that funny because I used to love all the cool. I mean, I like them all because, you know, artist. But the, oh, gorgeous. See, we had to have another whole container just to separate these. What color are they calling this one? Bally. Bally blue. Okay. Yeah, we really did need to separate these. I couldn't fit them all in one anymore. Now, it's new. Takes a bit to get everything turned around after shipping in a clump. Now we have an aquamarine coming, which is going to be merino wool like this color. This is the aquamarine bamboo top, which is not going to felt on its own. But this is the color of my silk scarf that I'm trying to repair. I will repair. So I just ordered a little bit of that. Also, because there was a sale, I got some salmon pink coming. A large batch of it, because the price was like, oh my god, yeah, we're getting 4 ounces of this. So we have, that's begonia. This is really technically a lavender. I think we're going to put this in with that. This I think we're going to keep. And that is coral. Yes, these are going to be so beautiful together. The coral starts to cross that line. We start going into our warm colors, like, well, you know, reds, oranges, yellows. So I am developing a very lovely palette of colors to build anything with. So the next thing I want to do is a gift that I can mail to Gloria. So I'm thinking a small nightlight, you know, the felt kind that you can fold and put in an envelope and mail. And then I can have her daughter get a tea light to go in it. Now I know she is a purple freak, so we're going to be calling on purple, but she's also a butterfly lady. So I'm going to want to make a butterfly somehow. Of course, it can be suggestive of butterflies. So let's see. Yeah, she's definitely a purple person. It's just a 99, and she needs a lot of light, so I don't want to make it too dark. In fact, that's probably a good color to go with for the basic one. Now this time, I'm going to use a jar for my mold. Oh, I have to have more of this. I'm not going to use it now because I need a sample to purchased by. Gonna have to get more of this. Oh, that is just such a beautiful. This is the periwinkle. Now I think we'll go with accents of the dark purple. Now I do want it to feel really good to her, so I'm gonna add merino to the Corriedale and make it a softer touch. Now, you know, I think the best way to do a butterfly will be to wet felt it, cut it out, and then kind of melt it into the form. So let's get a little bit of this. A little raspberry with the lighter. There's a little, yeah, we can throw in a little dark accent there. Three suitcases in one hand. She's so strong. And we're gonna throw in, I think, a surprise window. All right, let me see the jar. What do I want as the form? Oh, well, could use that. But I think we're just going to make another one. We'll make a new mold. Let's see. That would be about 3 inches across. I'm going to go I have to do a smaller version. Actually, this might work just fine. Maybe still too big. No, we're gonna have to go with this. Maybe a little more narrow. think that'll do it. I'll leave you over there for now. Static is fighting me. This was for needle felting, so they didn't care. Hello, Doc. Doc, you gotta listen. Listen. You gotta look at this woman in the eye and you gotta say, look, by fill in the name. I think you're a really nice person, but as a single man, I'm really starting to get uncomfortable with all of the attention you're giving me. I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression. That way she saves face. You're not insulting her. You're saying she's nice, you appreciate the attention, but you're not really comfortable with it as a single man. Not interested in dating. You don't want to leave the wrong impression. That way she can back out of it, all right? So she doesn't look like she was chasing you. But you got to use those magic words. As a single man and not dating. But with all of the different shit that flies around, you don't want to risk being incriminated for something you had nothing to do with. That's why you gotta say exactly what I said. Doesn't matter if she goes into defense mode as long as you stay calm. You can't give her room because it doesn't matter if she goes into defense mode. All you gotta just say is, I appreciate your attention, but as a single man who's not interested in dating, and I know you're not trying to date me, I'm just saying I'm not comfortable with women knocking on my door. Thank you. You know, Cyrus appreciates the thoughtfulness. You're not singling her out. You're just saying, as a single man not into dating, I'm uncomfortable with a woman knocking on my door. You or anyone. Fuck it. Don't stand there like an idiot. It doesn't matter what she's doing. It's your reaction that matters. You want to be trapped by her? You want more cray-cray around? You got to learn how to set boundaries, and that's a boundary. And if she might be a little insulted at first, don't worry. That's her problem, not yours. As long as you keep smiling and you're polite and you use a low voice, you're very kind. Yeah, I know, with this woman. But because you've been here before, you've already set up a vibration for repeats. And you're going to get rid of her, and you'll still have more women just like her. Because that is your headset. It's you, not her. Which nobody wants to hear. But you don't attract anything by accident. You may not want it, but that's where your vibe is. Your fear of crazy women, you keep attracting more crazy women, and you're not going to stop until you change. Because it's you, not her. There's lots of crazy, but there's also really lots of sane. Why aren't you attracting all the cool ones? Why just the crazy? There's more than that out there. So you got to shift your mindset. You expect women to act poorly. You expect them to be crazy. And that's what we get, right? You get what you expect, not just what you pray for. I've been there before too. And it does work both ways. If you aren't insulting and you're firm, you've got to be the man here. Or you will have this going on for the rest of your fucking life. So either accept that you like something about it, there's something about it that's still attracting it, or you decide when you're really done with it. It is up to you. You can't shift that to anyone else because it's your vibe. You ask where are the good women because you expect the bad ones. That's why you get that. You're not expecting where are the good women. That's already an assumption that they're scarce. They're so rare to have a good woman. No. It's rare that you've attracted a good woman because of you believing certain things about women. I'm not saying it's your fault in terms of how you develop these beliefs, but it is your fault if you continue them. This is why poor people stay poor. Why desperate people don't win lotteries. Even Publishers Clearinghouse, before they went bankrupt, who won? Mostly old people who were already set and were not worried about anything. Of course, they wanted older people to win because then they didn't have to pay out as much for as long. They still had to pay it out eventually. We're not victims. We get exactly what matches our vibrations. And that includes our accumulated. But every day you wake up and you reset, you reset. You don't have to drag your whole past with you. But if you cannot get into the new vibe, your brain has nowhere to go but the past. So it will keep repeating it. Instead of, where are all the good women? Where are the good women, God? Ask yourself other questions about yourself. You have no control about the women. You got control over you. So you can ask for, maybe God can point out what you need to change, where you need to improve your vibe, what you need to focus on. What is a good woman? What is a good man who attracts a good woman? Yeah. Yeah. She wasn't your creation. She was just an attraction. I mean, the attraction was not because you wanted her. The attraction was because it was that magnetic attraction where we keep attracting stuff we don't want. She wasn't your first crazy woman. But you don't want to repeat it, so don't keep thinking about her, because that sets up the vibration of expecting what you already know. And that's the easiest vibe to get into, what you already know. And that's not what you want. You want something better than what you've already experienced, right? And that can only happen when there's a change in your vibration. That's why I recommended, not just to you, but to lots of people, breaking the habit of being yourself. Because people don't realize how they set themselves up year after year after year, repeating their own histories, because their focus is mistakenly on the past. They keep trying to figure out, how did I fuck up? I got to make sure I don't do that again. And you focus on the fuck up instead of what you can do to make things better right now. Doesn't matter what you did before. It's already done. What do you want in the future? What do you want to see? What kind of things you want to do with this new woman in your life? Shit. In a building like yours, you could even lie and say you're in a long-distance relationship online. And you're not getting involved with anybody locally. You can say anything you want because they can't prove it differently. You can lie like crazy. I'm not saying live your life in lies. It's not a good idea. Besides, if you're a bad liar, you'll forget. That's why I don't lie. I can't remember my lies. So I just have to be blunt with people. But I try to be kind. Just because I don't want to date, it doesn't mean that the people who are asking me out suck. It's just me who doesn't want to be involved. I don't think less of them. I don't think more of them. I don't think of them. I mean, that's, what do I want? Greetings, grandson. It's in the evening. What did you eat tonight? Here is the bag, but I have to do it all over again. Smaller and with a different color, because it turns out it's not yellow in the background. I mean, I got all the colors right for what's on the design, but the fabric color itself is in the browns. So I have to make a different bag. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this one. It's not finished, but I'm working on it. I made a rope for it, which will be finished later. We had fish. Oh, one of my favorite things. I'm making Gloria a night light. Because I just do not have the energy to take everything apart on my desk right now and start painting again. Which I will be doing, but not at this minute. Clean up on aisle 4. Yeah, I felt like I made sure all the right colors match, but yeah, I got the exact colors. That bag does reflect the colors of the flowers and all that. Unfortunately, I got it backwards. I'm new at designing clothes. But now I'm getting the hang of it. I also learned something about this today in the shaping of the resist. It's like, that's a good idea. You've got to know those things. It turns out if you make that loop on the bottom, it gives you more room to create a flat bottom so that your vessel stands up. And I went, well, I'm going to continue to make it into a purse. It still needs more work. It'll shrink a little more. I'll attach the strap. And it might go with something else I have. Otherwise, I'm not sure. I mean, it's coming out beautifully, so I'm not going to destroy it. I feel a little foolish for not making sure I was matching the correct colors. It didn't occur to me to do the background color for the background of my purse. So I believe I can blend a couple fibers. I've got the right colors to blend to get that color. I could just make it really simple and make it just slightly darker than what this color is, this background color. But it's going to have to be a much simpler design. The pattern on the dress is too busy. It's like what I'm wearing right now. This is a new dress too, and I need to make a purse for this because it also has no pockets. I'm going to start calling these pockets on strings. So, yeah. Right now, I'm hanging them on my bedroom wall. It's kind of like I had a similar problem when I was making bracelets, beaded bracelets. When Glenn and I would do street fairs, you know, you sit there for hours behind your desk or your tables waiting for a customer. So you do things. So I used to make bracelets while I sat there. Well, I don't really. I actually had to take a couple of hats down and put the purses up and then put the hats on top. Right, pretty much every square foot of my apartment is covered in art. Actually, I did not do that to the wall over where I sleep. I put one little painting there, but you have to. I lived in California where earthquakes were a norm, and you learn not to put things on the wall where they could fall on you, especially while you're sleeping. So I really don't like things over the bed. And Connecticut, by the way, has a quake line that goes right through it that runs all the way to California. So, you know, you're never really fully safe from quakes. We did have one last year here. No, I didn't feel it. I think it was while I was asleep. Okay, we'll just get this little water. Now, I want this to be as light as possible so it will let the light through. pictures of all the books I'm willing to sell. I'm surprised you have any books you're willing to sell. So are you going to put them online? Is that why you took pictures? Or you're just willing to say goodbye to them and you wanted a photo? A selfie with your library? Well, yeah, unfortunately the places that you buy them from tend to get them for free. So they can charge so little. Oh yeah, well that's definitely worth it. Okay, so now that I went one way, I have to go the other way, otherwise there's not going to be anything to felt together. Although it will give it a shot. We are going for a very lacy look, obviously, since after it's done, what goes in it is a little battery-powered tea light. This is not going to be enough for that side. Where's my... There you go, well done, Timmy. This is all I've got. No, I must have more of this. I wouldn't do this just for one. Oh, it is. It is. And location, because of the expensive shipping. I love that this stuff is so light. It doesn't tax my back at all. Vintage shipping for 6 years. Wow, that's not bad. You know what we're paying right now? You don't even want to know what we're paying right now. I just paid today. My God. Over $12 for 4, 5, 6, 7 ounces of wool that could be squashed flat in an envelope. So you're lucky. That's not that bad. Well, book selling is something people do out of love. It's a love thing because there's a very small markup in books, even when they're brand new. Literally, as a bookseller myself, not that that was the only thing I sold. I sold art supplies, but I also sold art books, and we only got 40% off from the wholesalers. 40% off the printed list price. That sucks. You would have to have a very unique approach. One of my favorite childhood books was called Parnassus on Wheels. And it was my dream to become a Parnassus on Wheels. Christopher Morley. check it out. When my dad passed away, inheriting his copy of that and The Haunted Bookshop, which was the second book, so much a part of my childhood dreams. Well, if you're not going to read them, you're kind of no better than someone who's illiterate and can't read. You know what I mean? The reason for owning those books is the joy of the knowledge they contain. The experiences. Well, the Christopher Morley reads, especially for somebody like you, first of all, they're very short novels, and you'd have no problem. You could probably blow through it in a day. Well, I'm sure you could blow through it in a day if that's what you wanted to do. But the story itself is such a charming story about a man who truly loved books and developed a lifestyle that enabled him and his dog and his horse to just spend all of his time enjoying speaking with people all over the place of philosophical things and sharing the joy of books. I think you would enjoy it. Oh no, this is the kind of book that's so delicious you want to savor it, you don't rush it. It's an experience. Parnassus on wheels. Parnassus being the mountain of knowledge and all that. You know, like Mount Olympus. Yes, exactly. I also like Good Omens. That's one of my favorite books. And that's something that I've read probably 8 times since it's been printed. Because I love so much about it. It's not just the story, it's how it's done. The imagery, all of that. So, yes, I love that. But Parnassus on Wheels, that's something that's precious and delicious. Oops, it's got to go this way. That's right. I don't even know if you can get Parnassus on Wheels anymore. It was written long before I was born. My father discovered it when he was 15. He was born in 1930. And I was 15 when he turned me on to it. You found an Italian translation? Oh, wow. That's really interesting. Well, if you can ever get your hands on it, I believe you would enjoy it. Like, how delicate can I make this? Well, keep it in your mental list. If you can find a copy someday, remember Grandma. I even did a little drawing of my little caravan. What I wished I could go into someday. Be my own person out in the open road, meeting all kinds of people. I kind of did that anyway, but without the horse. It was before the invention of bookmobiles, but it probably was the invention of bookmobiles. Okay, now we gotta go back the other way. Oh god, I need more yellow. Maybe not. I want this to be real fragile looking, so let's throw some of this in here instead. Okay, go up into the pink, into the yellow. Are you leaving or coming? Aloha. Oh, Charlie was talking to you? Okay. Go from rags to riches if you would only say you care. I thought my pockets may be empty. I'd be a millionaire. Interesting. Where's that from? That's not wet enough. Let's try to get you down here. So I can lift you up. We had a Charlie moment. Tony Bennett. I think that's a very good idea. I had to make a table of contents that was viewable for my Kindle books. Oops. Got overexcited. Okay, we have some wild colors, and now we've got to decide which direction are we going to curve it in. Because we've got the resist underneath it. Oh, not enough water right there. Charlie and Doc, you're both mods on my channel, are you not? Can you scroll up, Charlie, and see what Doc and I were talking about? About the cray-cray? Well, that's kind of cool. We're going to make it really crazy now. Because if we don't have a form, I can't make this stand up on its own. Now that's going to be a little weird because I wanted to leave a bunch of this kind of ragged, But this is going to end up knitting together because the resist is inside and hidden. Is it too late? Maybe not. Right, I have to protect that. Oh, we still have a layer here. The yellows right there. Now we want to have like a flowery effect at the top. There we go. All right, I'm going to add in a little piece of resist here. Oh, it doesn't matter. I thought you'd give an opinion being a young man, but on second thought, this is for Maui to handle. All right, let's get you in here. There we go. So now this can felt without attaching itself to the other side, so they can both look really wild, I hope. Now I learned they're using different things to stiffen up the fabric after it's done. I don't know if I'm going to do that with this. I'm now no, I know that. More of a social construct issue. He's got a female neighbor who is making sure she sees him with one excuse after another, primarily his cat as an excuse, every day. She's a, you're probably not used to the reference, Gladys Kravitz type, but she's a busybody. But she seems to be leaning toward a little bit more socialization hopes. And then Maui wants to be involved with, and I don't blame him. Aside from the fact that you never, ever, ever, ever get involved with someone who lives across the hall from you. That is just sheer, well, unless you're planning on moving soon, don't do it. It's a foolish thing to do. Okay, so now I need to get this onto a buble surface. So we can use 1,000 tiny fingers. Like that. Now the cool thing about this is when it's done and I get it all shaped, I can still fold it flat and stick it in an envelope and mail it like a first class letter for a fraction of the price of what I'd have to pay if I put it in a box. I'm so glad I'm not in the business anymore of selling things. I mean, Okay, it's like if somebody walked up to me and said, how much is your purse? I want it. I'm not going to really put up much of a fight depending on which purse it is. They ain't getting my flower purse. But aside from that, I'm not interested in, you know, having to deal with all the marketing and everything else you've got to do to sell things. I enjoyed selling soap for a while. I'm not doing soap anymore. So I'm just enjoying making things for my friends and family. Actually made some for the great niece I've never met. At 3 years old, she's not going to be very interesting to me anyway. I'm not really a child person, although you probably figured that one out by now. I like kids, but I like them best when they're not in my presence. "20 years ago, it would have been a little different. Nowadays, I need people who can speak on an intelligent level, or at least intelligible. Now, I would love to run into myself when I was 3 or 4 years old, because I only spoke to adults. I didn't know what it was like to talk to children, because I didn't know any. Until my sister was born, and that was the first child I knew. Oh, then I got introduced to the version of daycare that they had back then. And then they wished I would shut up. Okay, I think we can start rolling. We'll roll it around and squeeze the last of the water out of it while continuing to felt it. Let's move you down a little more. Now, you know, when you're open to the universe talking to you, and you're talking to it on a regular basis, you'll be led to everything that you need for whatever your mission is at the moment. You don't need to know far in advance, but as long as you have the info as you're getting ready to do something, you got it. So today I got it. I needed a lesson in how to cut my resist for a specific kind of a form, and when I went onto the computer, it was right there. Okay, my darling. I should be looking in on my dinner too, because I left it in the crock pot. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. I'll be back tomorrow. Definitely between 2 and 3, because tomorrow's Tai Chi. Sleep you the best, and dream, my dream. Dream beautiful dreams. And you're wide awake, but it's 4:13, so I'll stay until 4:20, since I have to roll this anyway. So what are your plans, Maui? It's still way early for you. Here, let's get some of that water out. This way I'll do it. I see that lift right there. That's not good. So, take a little excess water out of here. How's this doing? Very good. Your just water, go ahead and dry. Should do laundry. I could do a load today, but I'm not. It's a rainy day. I'll probably check it out tomorrow since I've got to go down for Tai Chi anyway. But our Tai Chi is now at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I have all morning to work on stuff. I'm hoping if my friend isn't too tuckered out from their excursion tomorrow, that she'll be able to take me to the grocery store. I need some greens. The bigger greens like broccoli rabe and a bag of carrots. Things I need to see in person because I no longer trust the shoppers to do a good job on my fresh veg. It depends on who's doing it. I mean, the day that everything was so good, I actually called the store and said, please say thank you to whoever shopped my order, because they did an absolutely perfect job. And I didn't have to return or complain or feel bad about anything. I mean, one day I ordered 2 zucchini and I get 2 rotten zucchini of different, very different sizes. It's like, are you kidding me? You couldn't tell this was not good? So yeah, I need to go see this stuff myself. I got some moldy cucumbers, little cucumbers. Like, you people are, you must think I'm just gonna let this slide. But you have deprived me of my groceries because, you know, it costs money to get those deliveries. 13 bucks a pop. And then they charge you extra $4 or $5 just for making the order online, which is something they're trying to encourage. You're paying twice. One for the delivery, one for the nerve of ordering it online in the first place. All right. Me too. I'm about one of the healthiest people in this building, believe it or not. And you know, it's interesting. I'm getting to see the proof of my words every day. You know what I say about people and their attitudes and how it affects their health? Well, I'm watching some people go downhill a lot faster than they need to because of where their thoughts are. And by the way, 2 of them that are the sickest, they spend half their life in church. It's all about Jesus for them. But somehow, they keep getting sicker. What's up with that? What do you think their energy's really on? You know? Do you know what I'm known for around here, among other things? Running. Walking fast. I'm all over the place. When I have to do things, I'm there, I am gone. And I thought that was interesting, but then I started looking a little closer at the people around me. I am definitely better off than most of the people here. And the thing that is interesting, we have the same diseases. A couple of our diseases are exactly the same. It's like, how come I'm doing better than you? Maybe some of it's genetic, but some of it is definitely they're asking from the wrong point of energy and they're receiving opposite of what they truly desire. right? And again, I'm not begrudging anybody their religion, but if you don't see it paying off, if people aren't happier for it and healthier for it and feeling more united for it, then it's the wrong religion, whatever it is. If it's alienating you from the rest of the world, it's the wrong religion. You're not learning anything about God. And that brings me right back to how I started the show. Right livelihood. A right livelihood is when you do things that are in good flow with the rest of the world. You're not hurting anything. You're getting what you need, but you're not harming anything. That's right livelihood. If you think it's right livelihood to, gouge people at the gas pump or the milk department, I don't know what God you're following, but not the same one I do. And I said, I don't follow God. I'm part of God. I acknowledge that. And so is everybody. Back in the 70s, I told you, I took that Bible course, basically the beginning of the prosperity gospel bullshit. And the problem with that, and I still have a problem with it, it's not that it was preaching wrong things up until the point they used one's having as proof that they're in God's good graces. Like suddenly, the only way to know if you're really a good person is if you're rich. It's like, no. Like, what? That's wrong. God doesn't bless everybody with money. God blesses you with opportunities, responsibilities, people you can trust. Those are blessings. Okay, it's starting to turn into fabric. I can see when it's getting wrinkled and leaving the surface of the resist in here. I have to leave this piece in until the very end, or I won't be able to felt it. Okay, see, I want it to be very, very fragile looking. Not really fragile, but, have that look. And we definitely do, because look at that's not felting the way I wanted it to, so we got some time we got to put on this. So it's 4:23. I'm smelling my corned beef. It's been cooking all afternoon. I'm hoping when I stop doing this that it's tender enough to eat. I haven't made one since the 2000s, the single digits of the 2000s, so it's been quite a while. Yeah, and that's a lie. God doesn't love you more because you have money. No, God didn't give you more money because you were good. God gave you more money because you took the money and you screwed the poor people. And that's how you ended up with your money. I think every church that has more than 200 people needs to be taxed. And if you have cathedrals that you have put up in your own damn name, tax. Big tax. I'm going to start calling it the Jesus tax. You want tithe to your church? Go ahead. But then we're going to come and take back some of that and give it to the real people who need it, not just your congregation of wealthy people who seem to be the most perverted on the planet. I've known about perversion all my life, pretty much. I'll say since age 9 up, I've known about perversion. But that's not the norm of people, and we shouldn't allow that to become the norm. for our representatives or church leaders. But they're now like the most detestable scum on the earth. It's like, and can you imagine? God is finance and love. Yeah, right. Financial love. So I say we're making sure that you put the 10 Commandments in school. I said, why? The president broke every one of those commandments. Why do we have to follow them? No, I mean, I automatically follow the 10 Commandments. It's how any decent person is going to be. Not the religion part of it, but the taking care of your brother, watching out for everybody. Don't steal. Don't kill. Don't be coveting other people's property. That's totally 100% our president. It's like, ew. I'll never look at the 10 Commandments the same. He's committed every cardinal sin. Greed, avarice, jealousy, gluttony. Yeah. People are warning their kids, do not leave your children around that man. Yeah, well, second coming of an Antichrist. There's nothing Jesus-like about him. Just the biggest sluts and whores of the business are supporting him. I mean, look at that woman, white woman that's always drooling over him. She cheated on every mate that she had affairs while she was married again, and after on somebody she cheated on with. You know, it's like, you're a whore. You're plain up, straight up a whore, and you think you're godlike and godly, and that you are capable of recognizing a holy man. It's like, whoa, you got some big time crazy there. Yeah, I have been around all kinds of people, as you know, growing up where I did and the way I did, and being all over the country. And I have to say, without a doubt, if I had to choose a crazy demographic and say you're going to find the most crazies right here, it's going to be with white women. Not just the men. The men are the ones that want to be all in fights and all that, but no, the women are idiots. Some white women are the dumbest things I've ever seen. And I apologize to smart white women, because I am a white woman and I am smart. But the amount of stupid I have seen over the last decade in white women has been embarrassing. It's like so disgusting and embarrassing. It makes me wish I was black, just so I don't have to have that racial association. And no, I'm not anti-white. I'm white. My family's white. I'm not anti any color. I'm anti-stupid. And like I said, there's just way too much stupid out there right now. Okay. It's almost done. Now, one of the things I want to learn how to do, well, I think I know how to do it, I just haven't tried it yet, is to make the body of the purse and a pocket at the same time. It does require layering bits of resist, felting them and then cutting them free. Oops, we don't want you tearing. Alright, I'm going to go get a jar. This still needs felting, but I want it to start forming. So hold on. Oh, wait a second, will this work? This might work just fine. All right, looks like a little weak on the bottom. So wait. Fortunately, we do have a little bit left. Now, if I have to, I can felt this in, needle felt it in. Yep, Karens are the worst. Not that I haven't met black Karens too, but not as many as white. They take the cake, man. And I've seen in my own family, not Karens, but definitely manager callers. So their willingness to call management is not racially motivated. It's more of an arrogance motivated. Those are the ones I don't talk to, obviously. We'll see how well this works. But that's the basic colors. We've got some fun pattern here. I'm gonna have to get a stronger LED light, battery light, to stick in these and test them. But I have a light I can put this on, but the problem is that the light is multicolored. I can't control it. It's just like does the rainbow thing as it turns. So it's kind of cool that it turns. It was meant for displaying a piece of selenite, so colorful and moving, but it also made an annoying motor sound as it turned, and I couldn't stop that, so I just put it away. But now I've got it out again so I can test these night lights. So I just stick it on top and see how much light comes through. So I get an idea, but I know that I put a little candle in it, but the candle was flickering kind. It wasn't a solid bright light, so I definitely have to buy another one that's better quality. Blame it on the Kardashians and Bruce Jenner for introducing so much stupid into this planet. Superficial. All about money and pictures of themselves. It's like, what's wrong with you people? I was amazed that they had a show. That's really more like a horrify that they had a show. It's like, are you kidding me? People are into this? But then I saw The Bachelor. No, I didn't watch it. And then I thought, there is a level of stupid in this country that just I never expected to see. But you know, my dad was a salesman. He sold Bibles and then encyclopedias. And he told me, because he had to write sales pitches all the time and train salespeople. And I got a job selling clothes, trendy clothes, to anyone that walked in and wanted. And the season I got in there was, unfortunately for me, bathing suit season. And I remember my father said, just tell a woman she is beautiful. Just keep telling her she's beautiful no matter what she says, no matter what she looks like in the mirror. Just keep lying to her and she will believe you. And I witnessed it. I witnessed people who should never even think of putting on a bikini as underwear because of the restrictions in their blood supply. And I saw them being worked by salespeople. I'm like, get them a one piece. That is horrible. And they're going to be uncomfortable because you just cannot be that fat and have those little strings sticking in you without it hurting at some point, you know? So I did not last at that job because I just couldn't look someone straight in the eye and tell them they were beautiful. No, I was the one that kept going and getting, wouldn't you like I think this one piece would really look good on you. And they're like, no, I want a string bikini, because a string bikini was in. That was the year of string bikinis. Just be glad that you weren't selling those, Maui. You'd just sworn off women forever. But Dad was right. You tell someone they're beautiful long enough, loud enough, they're going to believe you. It doesn't matter what they look like. People want to believe the best about themselves. And when it comes to sales and marketing, they know that. They remember that, and they line everything up for that. You're so smart. Of course you buy in this, because smart people buy this. All right, we're going to let this dry, and I'm going to go and eat. I'll be back tomorrow after Tai Chi. It's been rainy all day. Good day for doing laundry here. But really, I don't need it right now. I don't even have a full load, so it can wait another day or two. And I will work on felting this more tomorrow. Right now, I just want to see how we get this to hold its shape. One of the things that they use for this is spray starch. I'd like to avoid adding stuff to the felt. I really want it to be as natural and, natural as possible. So I'll have to look into that. I saw some beautiful feathers being made with felt. And one of the tricks was this super strong hair gel that's clear. And it's like, that is brilliant. Hair gel for hair. Oh, was she? Did you say anything this time, or did you just let her walk all over you? She's going to one day do that right after you have done an indulgence. You're going to trap yourself. Anything you tell her goes around the neighborhood. So she's your walking megaphone. Remember that. Her impressions of you are going to be shared with everybody else too. It's like inviting the devil in. Come on in. Wreak havoc with my life. Make me uncomfortable around my neighbors. So what did she have today? Another gift for the cat? Something for you to drink or eat? I know you sent a photo, but I couldn't read what she wrote on that. Okay, it's 4:40. My dinner should be ready. I've just been cleaning out her place. Guess I look like a guy in need. I told you, once somebody gets wind of you needing something, you're now labeled. That's why you got to watch out when you have neighbors like that. So what does she have? A gift for the cat. The best excuse, because it's the cat, not you. You can't take it too personally. Wink, wink. It's just the cat. I like cats. You have a cat. Does she ask to pet the cat, or she just gives you something? You need a fortune cookie, man. Let's dig one out. Left, middle, right. Right, left. I give you your cookie and then I'm going. A folding box. Yeah? It's something you needed? Or you're just taking her used shit out of her way? You have to start saying no. No, no, no. Every time she gives you something that's a little... Is she senile? Because if she's not senile, you accepting things from her is going to be seen as encouragement to her. It doesn't matter what it is. You're taking something she's offering. That's the dynamic. It also leaves you in debt to her. And you have to be a stronger person and say, I said I don't need it, thank you. No, thank you. If she has a problem with that, Maui, you got someone who's fucking crazy and you're allowing her to infiltrate your life. Get a grip. Seriously. You really want problems? She is watching you. She is watching you come and go. All right? She is this far from being a straight up stalker. and you're allowing the devil into your house every time you go ahead and say yes. It doesn't matter how, just say thank you, no. And so she just stayed at my door telling me, just say no again, please go away. You're making me uncomfortable. You're making me uncomfortable. And she's telling you that you don't know your own mind. No, you don't know what. I told you you need this. I told you I want you to take this. Now you have to take it. These are all the reasons why you have to take this from me to make me happy at your expense. Because now you're not happy. And I like it when you're not happy. But you made me happy. So that's all that matters. So I'll just keep coming over every day, knocking on your door, and trying to find ways to wiggle my way into your house or your life, your business. And if you're giving out the I'm needy vibes, then that's something you've got to reckon with. You're letting people know you're needy. Whose fault is that? That's your fault. You got to train your neighbors. You got to learn how to set boundaries. You were doing a good job, but obviously you let yourself down. Anybody that stands there and keeps bothering you at the door is a problem person. And she's there doing it again today. A folding box. Did you need it? Did you tell anybody you needed a box? Well, it doesn't have to be. It may be what's happening, but it doesn't have to be this way. You are inviting her in every time you indulge her insanity, and that is crazy. Enough with the cat toys, enough with anything for the cat. It's just an excuse to knock on your door and look right at you and see if she can see anything around you or smell anything around you. Thank you. Okay. You will look back on this moment and smile. Oh, do you have a land shark? Well, that's what she is, right? Okay, well, hopefully you will just be able to move on and laugh about it. Meantime, I would be doing everything I could to keep her the hell away from me. Forgive those who have wronged you for your own peace of mind. Well, I have peace of mind. Okay, and now I'm going to have a piece of corned beef. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good night and learn how to say no before you end up in big trouble. You got someone watching you, and that's weird.